Hello and welcome to the Android OS Guide. This is chapter 6. We're going to be talking all about battery saving tips. How to go about saving battery life on your Android device, whether it's a phone or a tablet or whatever it may be. Just tips and tricks that you can use to help optimize your device for better life overall. So, battery life, very simply put, is the duration your device stays alive for. So, this varies from device to device, obviously. You have a Samsung Galaxy S5 here, you have LG G Flex. They vary in terms of battery life because there's so many different Android devices out there. You have them in all shapes and sizes and form factors. You'll have some with much bigger batteries and longer batteries, but also hardware that kind of weighs on the battery. So bigger screens, higher quality screens, better cameras, all that stuff takes into effect on your battery life. So it takes a toll on it. So you'll have some devices with longer battery life, with 10 hours to 11 hours, and some with 12, some with 8 to 9. It really does vary, so that's something to keep in mind. It's also a lot about how you use your device overall, and we're going to talk a lot about those tips. So it's really, really key to do your research when purchasing your Android device on battery life, estimated battery life. You want to look at things like idle time. Idle time is essentially what that means. All is when your device is not being on or used. That is how long it can last just on idle. Usually, this is very, very long. It can be 4 days, 5 days. That really just means when you're not touching it, how long can the battery last? There's also things like audio playback and video playback. If it just played audio straight or video straight, how long would it last? Again, all of these tests vary because your usage is gonna, it's like the saying, your mileage will vary depending on how much you use your device, how times you use it for, and intervals and all of that. That's what impacts battery life. But these tips can all help you save on that. So here's a list of tips we have as far as saving battery life. I'm going to go over them in detail. And then afterwards, I'm going to show a little bit of a demo here, talking a lot about how you can tweak some of these within the actual Android software itself. So first off is brightness and display settings. Brightness is a big thing that weighs on battery life at times. If your brightness is always set to max and you really don't need it to be, you can probably tweak it just to where, it's visible for you, but at the same time, it's not taking up a lot of battery. Also, there's sometimes things like auto brightness on devices, which senses like if you're outside or indoors or whatever it may be, it'll adjust the brightness automatically. That uses a sensor. That's really great if you use that feature a lot. If not, you can easily turn that off and save a little bit on power. Choose applications. Android gives you a great look at what applications are running, what's taking up your battery. Android as a whole, the operating system shows you, in like this picture on the right here, 44% of the battery is being taken up by the screen itself, and then I'll go into apps and other things that you can easily exit out of that are running in the background that really just don't need to be and are draining battery life. You then have, of course, third-party apps, which we'll mention one here. We're going to be looking at DU Battery Saver. There's a lot of different ones out there that allow you to get more information on your battery and just a overall cleaner look, and also do like optimal optimization for your device to make sure that it's running in tip-top shape. Unnecessary hardware, that's another big thing. If you have radios on that you don't really need on your device, if you're not using Wi-Fi, then turn off the Wi-Fi. If you're not using Bluetooth at all, then you can turn off Bluetooth. There's a lot of different things that may be on your device that you may not need, sensors, so on and so forth, and you can easily toggle a lot of those within the settings. So that kind of leads me into software tweaks. There's just so much stuff that you can have possibly running that you may not need or may not really know is draining battery life. Live wallpapers, things of that nature. That's an extra thing that's going on in the screen, and if you really don't need that, then you can easily disable that and save a little bit of juice. And all of these little tiny tweaks ultimately lead up to hours saved in overall battery life. Last but not least is external hardware. External hardware is the ability to buy cases or external chargers or additional chargers to keep your device running even when it's really, really low on juice, to recharge it fully while you're out and about. And this is really great for the power user, somebody who really uses their device a lot and does need that extra life cycle. Then it's the best solution is really to get an external hardware to power and charge the device all over again. So that all said, we're going to jump over to a demo where we're going to showcase some of these things we just talked about and how to go about tweaking some of those settings, and a look at some of the third-party apps out there that can really help you out as far as saving battery life. So here we are in the Galaxy S4 running 4.2.2, and First off, I want to talk a little bit about the brightness and display settings. So you can adjust these by going into your settings panel. So you go into your settings, and on all devices, typically you'll have something that says display here, and then you can adjust brightness. This allows you to adjust the meter as needed wherever you need to set it. That's perfect for your viewing angle. Again, you can turn off automatic brightness if you don't use that. A couple other features to look at, for example, sleep. You may want to have your display sleep at shorter intervals. So, for example, after a minute of inactivity, the display will go to sleep. This just means your device isn't like on for like an extra 2 or 3 minutes when you're really not using it at all, or it may just be laying there. So again, it's a great way to save that extra battery life. We also talked a lot about applications running in the background. You'll see here under device, we have a battery button right here, which shows you what battery usage data is available. In this case, since this is a simulated device, it doesn't show anything since it's 100%, but it'll show you what things were on and how it's affected battery life over time. I'll give you a graph and break it down, and you can see what apps are really running and taking up space and processes. Anything that's running can be taking up RAM or memory, and you can see how long they've been running and how that's affecting your battery life overall, and you can easily just close out of specific things, as you can see here, if it's taking up battery life. Now, going on to third-party applications, I want to overview a whole third-party application here known as DU battery life, but before I do that, I do want to go over some other things in this tweak panel here, or in the settings panel that you can tweak. Unnecessary hardware, like I mentioned, you can turn Bluetooth and Wi-Fi off if you are not using them. Definitely worth turning things off if you're not using them. Any radio that you're not using, simply toggle it off, and that saves you all the much more power. Again, there's a lot of different stuff you can change here. Location access or push notifications for email, for example. If you have your Gmail or whatever email app you're using constantly pulling an email every 5 minutes, that can take a lot of life on your battery because it's constantly pinging, constantly using your network and your data. However, if you have it set to every hour, then it does it less frequently, and then in return saves you a lot more power. Again, it's all user preference and depending on how you want to set your device up, but these are all just extra tweaks that you can go about tweaking within the settings panel. Last but not least, under About Phone, if you want to get external hardware, there's a ton of external hardware out there for phones specifically. Like you can get cases that act as chargers. You can just get over general, mobile chargers that work with any phone. Again, really worth checking out. There's a lot of great cases out there that work with some Android devices that will charge it on the go as well. All right, now going back to the home screen here, I'm going to go ahead and showcase one of the apps I was mentioning earlier. This is DU Battery Saver. First off, on the home screen, it adds a widget that you can get, and it allows you to add quick toggle widgets to see things that are currently turned on. So you can see my Wi-Fi is turned on, my cellular is turned on, things of that nature, and you can easily just go in and click this to get this little mobile data thing and easily toggle things that you want to toggle. So mobile data, ringtones, all that great stuff. Anything that may be affecting your battery life. Additionally, what a great thing about DU Battery Saver, it has these modes. So you can select custom modes here. So for example, if you have you can set a mode where it's power efficient. You can turn off all the radios, everything, and that's just your power efficient mode. And you have an outdoors mode. So when you're going out, everything is turned back on. You simply toggle that, and it'll hit all the switches for you very, very quickly there. Going into the app itself here, you can see it shows you a lot of great stuff about your battery. It shows your current time left on your battery charge here, and you can hit optimize, and it'll automatically optimize everything that needs to optimize concerning your battery. It also shows you things like temperature, how much call time you'll have, how much internet browsing time on average you'll have. Keep in mind that these are estimates, but again, it gives you an overview. I'll show you graphs. Going into the saver thing, again, you can look at these modes to help you save battery life and set up your own custom modes. You can also look at the Smart Saver here, which is a premium feature that you can also unlock here. So you can do things like schedule by time, power, auto clear apps. So we can have a scheduler set up so it clears background apps every now and then. So definitely worth checking that out. You can actually get the in-app purchase to get all those unlocked. You also have a toolbox here of apps that you can check out. They're really, really cool too. So they have some third-party apps that you can check out that you may enjoy. Again, the charge tab will just show you here how your charge status is and how it goes about when you're charging your device. Something to keep in mind when it comes to battery. This is a big note. When you're charging a device's battery, you want to every now and then recycle the battery. And what that means by that is fully let the battery die and then recharge. Because at times, if you let the battery drop all the way down to 1% and then you keep on charging it up, let it drop to 1%, you don't let the battery fully recycle. There are times where you want your device to fully die, go from 1% to 0 or 100% to 0, and then before before it hits that 1%, a lot of people like to charge it. There's times where, again, you're just going to want to let it completely die and then charge it back up to 100 again. This allows for a much overall better battery life and a longevity on your battery, so you'll get much more usage out of it. So again, this just shows you charge status and how you can keep your healthy battery, how you can keep a healthy battery, I should say, and you can learn more to read about that. Under monitor, this will show you any apps that are running. So this will show you apps that are taking up battery life, as well as hardware that is taking up battery life if there's anything running. So you can see in this case, there's no statistical data going on right now, but very, very, very useful if there was anything that you need to overview and see what's running on your device. So this is just DU Battery Saver. Again, you can find this one if you go into the Google Play Store. So let me open up that real quick. The Play Store here, let me find the icon. Where is the Play Store? Play Store right here. So we'll go in there and you just search DU Battery and you'll see it right here, Battery Saver and widgets. So again, it adds out widgets. There's a lot of different ones. Like I said, you can find a whole slew of them in the App Store, both free and paid, but these are just some of the great third-party apps that you can use to really get control of your battery life. Overall, your battery, like I said earlier, life will vary. Your mileage will vary on your results and how much you get. Even if the device says it has 10 hours, you may get 12 hours, 13 hours, depending on how you use it optimally, how you go about throughout your day, and the intensity to which you use it in. So these are just a couple of tips to help you out in saving life overall on your Android device. Hope they help you out. Don't forget to check out the previous chapters for more information, and of course, check out the next video.